What if there was a way, a skill set that once learned would enable you to know exactly what a horse needed to maintain health and well-being? A skill that could radically transform your care of and relationship with any animals you own or work with. Would you like to know that process? Well, I've got it. I'm Faye, and I've been teaching others to apply dowsing to all aspects of their lives for well over 20 years. I'm a former tutor and trustee of the British Society of Dowsers, and I'm winner of the BSD Award for Services to Dowsing for my work with earth energy and its impact on health and wealth. I'm also a best-selling author, and I'm an energy alchemist for people, their projects, and the places where they live and work. When you know how to use dowsing effectively, then you can apply it to virtually any question that you have no way of knowing the answer to. Animal health is one of the applications that's super powerful, because we cannot speak to animals, we cannot speak to horses in a way that we can speak to a hurt person, that when they need help, where does it hurt? What's happening? What are you scared of? How are you feeling? We can't ask any of those questions to animals. So dowsing is a really useful and powerful tool in getting the answers to these questions. And once you know how to use dowsing and apply it to animal health, then you can discover exactly what it is they need to maintain health and well-being on all levels. Maybe you have horses that you own or work with that need support. Maybe you're a dowsing practitioner and you want to offer another service within your business. When you're able to use dowsing to support physical, emotional, and environmental well-being, then you can listen to a horse and it knows it's being heard. And then you will feel this sort of amazing deep sense of connection and a newfound awareness of how animals experience the world and how they experience the relationship with us. So that's what this video is about, really. If you are ready to take your dowsing to a whole new level and help horses in this process. Now, I've helped many horse owners and dowsers apply dowsing to the care of their equine friends. But when I started out, I was actually very scared of horses. I'd had a bad fall as a child, and I'd stayed away from these four-legged fiends as far as I was concerned. I was using dowsing and geomancy in agriculture with arable and livestock farming, but I was completely clueless when it came to using dowsing for horses. I didn't know anything about their needs, their anatomy, their behaviours, absolutely nothing. I was a blank slate. I didn't understand one end of a saddle from the other. I didn't know what tack was. I didn't know what a fetlock was, and I couldn't ride. And in fact, I still can't ride. I'm better on the ground with them. But now, in regards to dowsing, I'm actually in a very different place. I've developed a simple dowsing system that anyone can apply to horse well-being, anyone that can dowse. And it all started with applying a step-by-step methodology, as I would when working with a human client. I look at physical health, mental health, I look at environmental health, I look at emotional health, and I look at doing soul work, because we hold a lot of trauma in our soul, and so do animals when they work with us. So all this applies, as I say, to our animal friends just as it does to us. It's just the questions we ask have to apply to their requirements. We ask certain questions about human health. We need a different set of questions to ask about equine health. Now, at this point, the big question is, surely we have vets and other horse experts for all this? Yes, we do. I'm not saying dowsing is a replacement for veterinary care, but it can lead us to identifying the problems and the best course of action. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're working with accepted knowledge and expertise. For example, let's say you identify the site of an injury in dowsing. So the horse might have a painful back or a painful leg. You can identify where that pain is located through dowsing. You can use this knowledge when you're in discussion with the vet. And if there are options for treatment, we can try this, this, or this. You can use dowsing to identify which treatment would give the best result in the time required by the horse to recover. So dowsing can save you a lot of time, guesswork, and unnecessary expense. So when I think about being able to use dowsing to identify health problems and to know what the best remedial action is, I'm reminded really of one of my clients whose show jumping horse would ride perfectly in the warm-up arena. He was very excited to get loaded off and go off to competitions. But as soon as she got him into the main arena to compete, he would refuse and resist her. So she couldn't work out what was going on. So we then dowsed all the potential issues that could be causing this behavior. And it was more like a conversation with the horse to understand what he needed, what was bothering him. And now he loves competitions, and they're a very strong team, and they listen to each other. And actually her ever-expanding shelf of trophies testifies to the strength of their newfound communication. So dowsing can uncover things that are really surprising. I was contacted by a horse owner whose horse disliked being placed in his stable and would stand really awkwardly in there, almost bunched up in one corner. And it was quite an old stable in an old building, which had probably had a very different original use. So they hadn't considered this. They had looked at all sorts of veterinary investigations for this odd stance. It wasn't colic. He didn't have skeletal problems. He was locking his legs okay to sleep when he was outside, because horses sleep with standing up. So it was a mystery, but his condition was deteriorating and nobody could work out why. So I used dowsing, and I revealed that his stable had in fact been constructed over a very old well, with a stream still continuing to run into it. And actually this stable had been constructed, really put in an old building, and the floor itself, the concrete depth, was not very thick. And he didn't feel particularly secure standing on this very thin piece of concrete with a great big hole underneath him. And the stream was still being fed into this well. So we did some healing work on the water to make sure that it was happy being enclosed. And we did the necessary structural reinforcement to the floor of this stable. And then he had no further problems going in, and his condition quickly improved. So it's not always obvious things. And dowsing enables us, particularly when we take this 360 view of health and well-being, physical, mental, emotional, and environmental. And dowsing can help us uncover things that we wouldn't actually necessarily have thought of left to our own devices. But before I tell you more about Equus, which is the new program, I have to warn you, this program is going to be interactive with me personally. And since it's an online coaching program, registration will only be open for a short time. The work is both practical and really next level energy alchemy. So there are only a very limited number of spaces available for those who want to work with me in this very unique way with dowsing and horses. And then we will be closing the registration and we'll be starting the class. So since you're watching this video, you either have horses or horses that you want to support through your existing dowsing knowledge, or you want to offer an equine dowsing service as part of your practice to help horse owners who want to support their horse holistically. Now, whether you're a dowser with a connection to horses or a dowser who wants to use dowsing with horses as part of your offer, this program will help you learn the many ways we can use dowsing to communicate with and understand our animal friends' needs and then meet those needs. So first off, when you join Equus, you get 5 weeks of coaching with me. We will look at the physical health of the horse. We will take a dive into the emotional well-being through using dowsing to work with the chakras and the etheric body of the horse. And we'll look at environmental factors in health, such as geopathic stress in the housing and stabling environment. And finally, we're going to examine how to use dowsing to help us with the energy alchemy by connecting to the spirit of horse. Now, the spirit of horse holds the energetic blueprint for exactly what it means to be horse, the energetic blueprint for all horses everywhere. And by working with this conscious spirit, we can gain unique insights beyond our human-centric perspective. So I've broken up this training into individual training modules where I'll walk you through all the steps to effective dowsing for the horse's requirements for health and well-being. After the program is over, you'll still have access to all the materials and the recordings of the course. So you'll be able to go back over that material at your leisure. And I think you'll find the ability to review the material as often as you like at your own convenience is actually priceless, because, you know, life happens and things get in the way. So this means you can review and refresh and re-employ what you are learning. You'll also get more stuff that helps you use dowsing with horse health. You'll learn how to use dowsing to get the answers you wish your horse or the horse that you're working with could actually tell you. So what are the key things to do? What are the key things to do to support physical health through? We're going to be looking at nutrition, supplementation. We're going to be looking at the treatment, diagnosis of pain and injury. We're going to, how do you use dowsing and the etheric body energy healing of horses together? What kind of systems and methodology do we use? How do you use dowsing to look at the energy in the environment that might be contributing to poor health or behavioral problems? I'm going to show you how to do all of this in Equus. The bottom line is that we're going to cover a lot of ground over the 5 weeks, and you're going to come out the other end with a thorough understanding of the scope and application of dowsing for equine health. But that's not enough. I want to take you beyond just knowing and right into the action. So I'm going to give you a unique experience of working with the spirit of horse that will help you connect to the very consciousness that holds the energetic blueprint for all horses everywhere. We can use dowsing to speak to this conscious spirit for the betterment of the horses that we work with, the betterment of our understanding connection to the natural world. So by now, you're probably wondering, what is the cost of Equus? Your investment in Equus will be £597 UK or just £299 if you use the easy pay option of 2 instalments. Remember, if you want to use dowsing as an effective and accurate part of your horse management, or you want to add equine dowsing to your existing offer in your dowsing practice, then you have to step into the world of horses and put yourself in their shoes. Think about how your life would be different if you commit to being open to listening to what the animals need, using dowsing effectively, accurately, and applying what you know to the animal's health and well-being. So go ahead, click the button below and join me in Equus. One last thing I need to mention, this is a limited time offer. You see, Equus is only open for 5 days, and then we close down registration and we start the class shortly after. If you want in, then you have to act quickly, because the registration window is never open long, and this is a unique opportunity to work personally with me. However, if you miss out, please don't freak out or anything. The odds are pretty good that I will offer another chance at Equus in another 12 to 14 months, though it is likely to be a self-study instant access option at this time. If you're not ready to step up today, and maybe when it opens again in a year from now, the time will be right and you can have the self-study option. Though if you're ready to use your dowsing in the field of horse health and well-being to support these amazing animals who we have a deep relationship with, an ancient deep relationship, you want to support them with holistic care, then your next step is to click the link below and get registered for Equus. You will have a full 7 days to see if Equus is right for you when we start the program. So if you determine that it isn't for you within the first 7 days of starting the program, you can change your mind. Just let me know and I will gladly refund your money. There's no hassle, no quibble, and no hard feelings. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's that simple. But the 7-day refund period starts from the day the program opens. Of course, if you want a refund before that period, you change your mind before, again, just ask me. No hassle, no quibble, no hard feelings, and you will get your money back. One last thing, I I am not some horse whisperer. As I said at the start, I have a deep psychic connection to many things when I open that connection. But I had, quite a big fear of horses. And when I first started working with them, it was literally, I was well outside the stable. I wasn't even going near them. But I just developed, or really stumbled through necessity into a way of using dowsing that meant I was applying the same skill set that I had with humans, the same skill set that I had in other areas of dowsing. It was just the topic that was different. And that is the very special thing about dowsing. It's a methodology we can apply to all different aspects of our life experience. So more than 10 years ago, I discovered that dowsing for horse health was a remarkable way of improving my own dowsing, and also connecting to something with more than myself, connecting with animals, connecting with nature, connecting with also their whole world in its entirety. And that experience I've not shared before publicly. It's always been in my practice, but now it has become Equus. Since then, since I first started working with horses, I've continually refined, I've added to my knowledge, and I've perfected it. And the result is a method, a system, a process, if you like, that can be applied very successfully over and over again. There are set things that we will do. There are set places that we start that will lead us into a voyage of discovery with that particular animal that we're working with. So if you're ready to enhance your dowsing skill and the lives of horses, then your next step is to click the button below and get registered for Equus. I can't even say it. Equus. Now is your time. It's time to step up. There has never been a better time, because we are all feeling this yearning to connect with nature, this yearning to do more in the world in a holistic way with everything that's going on. So there's never been a better time to do this, but you have to act now, because registration is closing soon. This is only for those people who are really serious about stepping up and want to apply their dowsing in quite a unique way. Now is the time to act. Enroll in Equus and say yes to using dowsing as a very accurate and effective method of effectively communicating with horses. So you can connect on a real soul level. You can understand the world from behind their eyes. What is the world for them? I can't even begin to describe to you the difference this will make to them when they see you effectively trying to communicate in this way, and the difference it will make to you. So click the button below and join me now. And this is your time, and I'd love to serve you in equine dowsing applications. So you have a big decision to make, and I can't make it for you. The only thing that I can do is to tell you that Equus works. It's worked for me, and it's worked for my clients, both human and horse, as they come as a pair. So click the button now, and I will see you in the program.